Coming up on this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, we have no Raw report, no SmackDown report, no NXT, no AEW. We have predict the outcome for WWE Clash of Champions, the one night of the year where all WWE championships will be defended. Do we have some new champions? Then tune in to see. Also in Hot Topics, we talk about the passing of legendary Road Warrior Animal, one half of the Legion of Doom. One big in my childhood, What a Rush. Man, this Legion of Doom are finally united. And we remember the legacy and the career of Road Warrior Animal. Who can forget Road Warrior Animal, those power songs. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show Predict the Outcome special for WWE Clash of Champions starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, the Predict the Outcome for WWE Clash of Champions. One night a year where all championships will be defended. We see a new champion be crowned, we'll find out. I'm going to give you my predictions later. First things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. Just like I said, we are the not popular, but the hub of wrestling, news, and culture. Now, WWE, AEW, and other related wrestling shows. But this week, we won't have the Raw report, won't have the SmackDown report, won't have the NXT report, won't have the AEW report. We'll have Hot Topics later on the show. But let's get to the Predict the Outcome for WWE Clash of Champions. WWE Clash of Champions come to you from the WWE Thunderdome in the Armory Center in Orlando, Florida. Man, it's going to be huge. It's going to be big. So, let's get started with one of the first matches. Let's get started with the pre-show match. Now, I'm kind of shocked and surprised that this championship is on the pre-show, and this considered the Raw Women's Championship, as champion Asuka has been on a high run as of late, but she's kind of not. She's feeding off all the challenges. I would have thought she would go against Natalya or Mickie James. But then stacking the cards for Zelina Vega stepped up. Now she wants an opportunity for the Women's Championship on Raw. Asuka, all this happened when Zelina Vega had a premonition that she wanted to leave Andrade and Angel Garza. She was trying to keep the team together. It wasn't coming out to a surprise, but we'll talk to you later on what's going on with that. Zelina Vega stepping out on her own. She wants to become a champion, and this is her moment. This is her time to do so. But unfortunately for her, Asuka's been on a roll as of late. Asuka's going to continue that momentum until somebody comes through that is ready for Asuka. Zelina's ready, but Zelina ain't that ready. So I give this to Asuka to retain her Raw Women's title over Zelina Vega. So Zelina Vega won't be ready for Asuka. She'll just know. Also, the WWE United States Championship is on the line as champion Bobby Lashley defends his goal against former champion Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews lost the championship at the previous pay-per-view at Payback, and Bobby Lashley captured it, winning for MVP in the Hurt Business. Now we know Bobby Lashley in the Hurt Business, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander have their issues with Retribution. We'll get to that later on. But I can't see it now. Could Retribution cost Lashley the championship? That could be a possibility. But in all terms, I see Bobby Lashley retaining his United States Championship, improving his dominance with a spear, and that's it for Apollo. And Cedric Alexander, with him being in the group, it kind of gives him a little bit of validation, a little bit that he needed to get over. So this is a turning point for him. Speaking of that, a triple threat match for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. Now you saw this week on SmackDown that they had this triple threat, which that didn't really make sense. If you're gonna put the champion online, put the champion online right on the show. But this whole thing started when Sami Zayn left WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion. Aimed to the pandemic, he decided that he wanted to do, go for a sabbatical. So Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles were battling out. AJ won the belt over Daniel Bryan, and then AJ went against Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy won over AJ over a knee injury or something like that. He was limping and stuff. Sami Zayn returns and claims himself as the true Intercontinental Champion, but AJ and Jeff Hardy beg to differ. So this week on SmackDown, this past Friday, was a preview, and we kind of saw what was going on. That Sami Zayn would do anything, he'll scratch, claw, and work his way to the top to become Intercontinental Champion. Look for Hope, and AJ kind of was at the end, standing tall in the ring with the two belts. I want to say AJ regains the Intercontinental Championship. So we'll see on that. Also, for tag team action, the Raw tag team titles on the line as Angel Garza and Andrade gets an opportunity once again from WrestleMania and move over to SummerSlam, and they've been going for their tag team title for them. This should be their moment against the Street Profits. Now, Street Profits has been dominated ever since WrestleMania, SummerSlam, you name it, Payback, but this is their moment to shine. So look for Angel Garza and Andrade this time winning the Raw Tag Team Championships, as they made a statement this past week on Raw in a triple threat match when they went against Seth Rollins and Murphy and Dominic and the makeshift team of Dominic and Puerto Carrillo. Puerto Carrillo rocking the beard a little bit, trying to do sideburns. But look for Andrade and Angel Garza put their differences aside and focus on becoming the new Raw Tag Team Champions. Look for that. Also, the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line, and Cesaro and champion Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defend their titles against the Lucha House Party. They've been playing tit for tat for the past weeks. There's been a little bit of tension between the Lucha House Party with Lindsay Dorado and Kalisto. Now, Cesaro and Nakamura can capitalize on, take advantage of it. They could very well leave as tag team champion. So I'm looking forward to seeing Cesaro and Nakamura remaining and retaining the tag team goal on SmackDown. Alright, that ends the first half of our predicting outcome for WWE Clash of Champions. We'll have the second half later on. But when we return, we're going to have the hot topics. We'll talk about the untimely passing of Road Warrior Animal. Man, he will be missed. He will definitely be missed. And a lot of other hot topic news, wrestling related. All this and more when Pro Wrestling Show returns in a minute. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Hugh Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. We know you that wrestling matters, and you, Pro Wrestling audience, are the key force in the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you for watching. Also, thank you all once again for watching this past Pro Wrestling Show. We're getting up there, and thank you for your contributions to watching us. We want to make dedicated news, wrestling news for you. Alright, we'll get to the second half of the Clash of Champions in a minute. But first, let's get to Hot Topics. Alright, on Hot Topics this week, man, we got a bunch of Hot Topics this week, but we're going to start off with the biggest one. This past week, the wrestling world lost a legend, a trailblazer, and a person who was dedicated to the wrestling business. The wrestling industry lost Road Warrior Animal. Road Warrior Animal, one half of the legendary tag team Legion of Doom, who held all the tag team titles with his tag team partner Hawk, who passed away untimely too in 2003. Well, both men had held all the tag team titles from the AWA to the NWA into the WWE World Tag Team titles. They have done it all, they have seen it all, and they have went against the best. They went against the Steiner brothers, Harlem Heat. I saw a video recently where their last collected unit before Hawk had passed away, a couple months before Hawk passed away. He was in a tag team with Animal, and they went against RVD and Kane. And I was like, wow, it kind of reminisced back to what I was watching. And who can forget the Legion of Doom against Demolition, or against the Nasty Boys, against Sting and Lex Luger. I can go back, trace back, and you can go back to the AWA with the Fabulous Freebirds and the Fabulous Ones, the NWA. Who can forget the Russian chain between Nikita and Ivan teaming up against the Road Warriors? Man, there's gonna be some memorable moments. And recently, Animal was supposed to celebrate Jerry the King Lawler's birthday. Ooh, man. He also did Dark Side of the Ring. Thank God they did that before Animal had passed away. Road Warrior Animal would be sorely missed. He leaves behind a wife and his 2 children, a son and a daughter. Man, it's kind of, we know that in this world you're gonna have to do 2 things: taxes and death. What a way to remember Animal as he was. He was a lot of people who were the wrestling world gave Animal big props, and we here at the Pro Wrestling Show offer our condolences to the family and friends and fans of Road Warrior Animal. He will be missed. He was 60 years old. Man, still young. Man. All right. On the other note, they said Kurt Hawkins and Carl Anderson blast Paul Heyman. They blast Paul Heyman because of I guess they felt disgruntled about Heyman, about what Heyman was doing when he was running his time on Raw. He didn't help him and stuff, but it's the wrestling business. But it's one man that does the firing, there, Mr. McMahon. Also, AJ Styles gives big praise for AEW star. He's talking about Cass. So AJ Styles and Cass had that match against Heyman Page, which it was phenomenal. It was back near fall after near fall. You couldn't even, miss it. Also, Mr. McMahon forgot about Peyton Royce. Well, they're supposed to be, Mr. McMahon's supposed to be slated to push Peyton Royce and Bianca Belair down the road. He did Vince Bianca Belair trying to do usmanship with a fellow PC trainee. So I don't know what that going on with that. Also, they said the USA Network was unhappy with Paul Heyman's exit on Raw. Ooh, there you go. You doing the exit like that on Raw, you better make sure you have your ducats wide open. I'm telling you. Also, WWE changes the writing teams again, so ain't that nothing new. I guess writing teams on both Raw and SmackDown, they can't keep up with being doing one of that WWE brand. They should know that. The Retribution's names are made Malice, T-Bar, and Slapjack. Now Malice, we know who Malice is, Dio Madden. We know T-Bar is Dominic Dijakovic. Slapjack is dude from the Australian dude, something like that. Also, Cody Rhodes debuts a new look. So Cody debuts a new look that he wants to show. He did on AEW Return, and he looked more darker with his dark hair again. He tried to make stuff. Also on NXT was crowning what's next for TakeOver. We'll have TakeOver predict the outcome next week. Who I believe who's going to be winning TakeOver. Kyle O'Reilly emerged the winner of the Eliminated Gauntlet Eliminator or something like that. So he's the number 1 contender for Finn Balor's NXT Championship. Right. Who else? Now they're talking about The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, since Roman Reigns in this storyline with his cousin. We'll talk about that in the second half later on. But I can see it down the road. So we'll see on that. Also, Miro better known as Russo, made his debut on AEW. Muro, you know, better is that. Went against Joey Janela and somebody else. I was like, oh my god, my god. In Survivor Series main event, they're saying it's gonna be Retribution versus Team WWE. So we're gonna have some from NXT, probably Raw and SmackDown, get together against Retribution and take them out. Take them out indeed. See you on that. Alright. That ends Hot Topics. Let's move over back to the second half of our WWE Clash of Champions Predict the Outcome special. Alright. Now coming up is the women's tag team titles on the line as champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. They got an unfriendly bond. Team up against the Riot Squad of Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Now this is Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott won this match after they had to win against the Iconics, and the Iconics had to break up. That's kind of crazy, weird, and how that be. But Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler proving to be an unlikely force, teaming together and winning. They defeat champions Sasha Banks and Bayley, which caused them to have a rift. They destroyed Lana twice and Natalya twice. So I say look for, if Nia don't turn on, look for Nia and Shayna to remain champions. If Nia don't turn on, if Nia just start turning on, then it's it. It's over. You know it's going to bound to happen down the road. You know how these women are. Speaking of that, the SmackDown Women's Championship is online as Bayley goes against Nikki Cross, the challenger. Bayley the champion versus Nikki Cross the challenger. Now, it's just weird to know what's going on with that, but Bayley has been shown a new attitude, even more darker than what she is after she turned her back against her best friend Sasha Banks. Now Bayley turns her attention to Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross won a fatal 4-way over her friend Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans, and Tamina. But Nikki can cite her sets on what's going on. Nikki said past week that she has that mean, aggressive look that people don't believe that she has. She has this in her, and she wants to show out. Saying Bayley, like Lacey Evans said to Nikki, that you don't have a mean streak. And Nikki said, I do have a mean streak. You just have to see it to believe it. So look for Bayley to retain the championship, and look for either Sasha comes involved and try to help Nikki, or Alexa Bliss with this new Fiend look. New Fiend, she's been trained by the Fiend to come and attack. So look for Bayley to retain her SmackDown Women's gold. Alright. Now we finally focus on the two world championships on the two brands, Raw and SmackDown. Focus on the Raw Championship WWE title match between champion Drew McIntyre versus challenger Randy Orton. Now this goes back to SummerSlam, where I thought Randy Orton was going to win the championship. Randy didn't get the job done. Drew covered him with a backslide, and now it comes full circle. Now Keith Lee's involved. Keith Lee tries to get involved, tries to add himself into the championship match. Unsuccessfully couldn't, because either with Randy Orton in the match or either with Drew in the match, Randy or Drew will kind of cause one or the other to not give Keith Lee a championship match. Now these two men embroil into a feud. Now they take their feud into an ambulance match. Which one of these superstars will lead Clash of Champions as WWE champion, and which one the other will be sent stricken into a gurney in an ambulance. Now Randy Orton explained this week on Raw that the rules of an ambulance match, which we know can beat your opponent senseless and incapacitated to order to win. Well, I want to say it's been Drew's moment for the WrestleMania and winning the time from Brock. But look for Randy Orton to win the championship that class champion and become the 14-time world champion. We look for anyone to do so in that order. And finally, we turn our attention to the SmackDown Championship match, the World Championship match, the Universal Championship match between champion Roman Reigns versus challenger Jey Uso. Now, Jey and Roman are cousins. They're blood cousins. But when the championship is on the line, you put that out the window. Now, Roman came back out of nowhere at SummerSlam with a new attitude. Had the same look, but attitude changed. He was not the smiling Roman Reigns no more. Something changed in him. Roman seeked vengeance. He got his rematch a week later at Payback against Braun Strowman and The Fiend. Roman won the championship in the triple threat match with Paul Heyman at his side. Roman calls himself the Tribal King, as Paul Heyman is the counselor to the Tribal King. This had new layers on top of new layers. Now, things are changing. Things are evolving for Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Jey kind of wanted to be playful a little bit, but Jey had to be a little bit serious because he saw pictures of Roman taking it serious and taking it to the limit. Now, between the two, we had Paul Heyman, explain the bloodline between the I Know It family. And now, things are full circle between these two men. I was watching The Bump this week where Jey was talking to Paul Heyman, telling him, like, you tell Roman I'll be ready. You tell Roman ain't gonna be no games. And we finally got that notice when Roman past week looked serious after Jey was trying to playfully give him the championship and raise up his arm. And Roman didn't like that one bit, you can tell. And Roman didn't even like that one time the previous week where Roman was holding, Jimmy was holding the championship. Roman looked at it like he was disgusted, he was sick, he didn't want to be around his cousin. Fast forward to this past Friday on SmackDown, where Roman and Jey were in the ring. Jey was kind of playful around, Jey was being serious. And then one time Roman came out there, well, he said, man, Roman, let Jey have it. Roman and Jey were talking and having a confrontation. Roman walked out. Jey tried to walk out with Roman until Roman's Superman punched Jey. That shows his true colors on why he has turned into the dark side. I don't know if Paul Heyman turned into the dark side or what. Paul Heyman said Roman brought him back in as being from obscurity. Now Roman has a point. So Roman punched him, and Roman said something about, you ain't gonna take food out of my table because I got kids too. And Jey had said the same thing. And you can tell that look, Roman don't give up about his family. He don't care about friends, family. All he cares about is that Universal Championship, and that's his number one concern. Now, I've been hearing rumors and reports that Roman may do something damaging. He may do something to egg this on. So, look for Roman Reigns to remain Universal Championship and annihilate, destroy his cousin Jey, which I hate that, but he's gonna start with his cousin Jey, and he's gonna go through his cousin to his brother. His brother's gonna come in saying, "What's wrong with you, Roman?" And then probably that's when he's gonna build up to The Rock coming back and saying, "Roman, what's going on with you?" And Rock has to put the kibosh on Roman if that happens. But look for Roman to retain and annihilate his cousin. I hate that. I hate saying that, but it's going to happen. And Roman saying he's going to debut a new look. He ain't going to wear no shirt no more. He's going to be shirtless. So Roman going to have the ladies going crazy. And the dude's going to be looking envious. So look for Roman Reigns to retain his Universal Championship. Alright, that is our predicted outcome for WWE Clash of Champions. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm going to be watching Clash of Champions just as you be watching Clash of Champions. Hope we'll see who's gonna come out victorious. We'll find out. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.